My wife, Serafina, was diagnosed with end-stage renal disease. As I was preparing to donate a kidney for her transplant, a string of comments appeared before my eyes, as though projected onto reality itself. The female lead is so cunning. She must have bribed the doctors to get her chump of a husband to donate a kidney to save her true love. This lapdog husband is so pathetic. He'll sacrifice his life after the donation. The female lead and male lead's love story is built entirely on this fool's wallet and organs. A shiver went down my spine. I clutched my stomach protectively and fled the hospital. Let someone else play the role of the devoted male sidekick. Back at home, I collapsed on the floor, as though all strength had been drained from me. Serafina and I were college sweethearts. Shortly after starting university, she pursued me relentlessly. Everyone thought she was after my money because she was beautiful, while I was plain. My only real asset was wealth. In fact, during our sophomore year, her parents used her student loan to support her newborn younger brother, leaving her with nothing. I felt sorry for her. Her parents had a child late in life, and they clearly favored her brother. The burden of supporting the family rested on her fragile shoulders. She spent all her time outside class working. One time, she fainted in front of me from overwork and low blood sugar. Seeing her pale face, my heart softened. Even though I knew she might be with me for the money, I willingly supported her education and paid for all her expenses. After graduation, we finally got married. I didn't believe these comments. Serafina, the woman I knew, was kind, gentle, and loved me deeply. There was no so-called male lead around her. I shook my head, rubbed my eyes frantically, but the comments kept appearing. What's up with the lapdog? Why did he run? Is he not giving his wife a kidney now? Serafina's frantic in the hospital, searching everywhere for him. Who knew this guy would run away at the last minute? Male lead, you absolutely cannot be a lapdog anymore. It pains me to watch. Don't donate the kidney. Serafina's colluding with the hospital to harm you, so she can take your money and run off with the male lead. I bet Serafina's going to call him any minute now, threaten him with divorce. And then he'll come running back to donate the kidney like a dog. The female lead has this fool completely under her thumb. Even as I doubted the comments, Serafina called. I tried to ignore the comments' influence and speak calmly. Honey, what's wrong? Shouldn't you be in bed, waiting for the transplant? She didn't seem fazed by being exposed. Instead, she roared into the phone. Dominic Hawthorne, where the hell are you? You know I need the surgery immediately. You promised you'd donate a kidney. The doctor said you were already on the operating table, then you ran off without even putting your clothes on. If you didn't want to donate, why pretend? I knew Serafina had the wrong idea. I desperately tried to explain. Serafina, you've misunderstood. I'd give you anything to save you, even my life. But my words didn't appease her. She only grew angrier. Fine, if you really love me, get your ass to the hospital and donate the kidney. The comments were flashing, telling me not to go. Frowning, I asked the question that was bothering me. Serafina, can we go to a better hospital for the surgery? Can we redo the tests? Hearing this, Serafina flew into a rage. She screamed into the phone. Dominic Hawthorne, you're so fake. If you don't want to donate, just say it. If your blood type wasn't a match, do you think I'd waste my time acting with you? If you don't donate, we're getting a divorce. Take it or leave it. She hung up before I could respond. Serafina really was threatening me with divorce, just like the comments said. I stood up shakily and prepared to leave when I received a text message. It was a photo from the nurse I'd arranged at the hospital. It showed a man and a woman. The man was lying in bed, his face sallow. Even his grave illness couldn't hide his handsome features. The woman looked worried, but the love in her eyes was almost overflowing. The woman was my wife, Serafina, and the man was my cousin, Evander Sterling. My brow furrowed. My pupils trembled. I grabbed my keys and raced to the hospital like a madman. See? I told you that as soon as Serafina said divorce, the lapdog male lead would rush off to donate the kidney. If he hadn't insisted on marrying the female lead after graduation, she would have been with the male lead long ago. After all, she's spent so much of his money. The female lead is kind, so she didn't want to refuse him. She's not going to admit she loves his cousin. Dominic is so tragic. I remember his father is a famous surgeon at this hospital. I wonder if his dad will perform the surgery on him. It would be too heartbreaking if his dad found out his son died, and this is their family business. This guy has everything you'd expect from a wealthy CEO, but he's not smart enough, and his cousin takes everything. This comment jolted me. I knew my dad was a doctor, but I didn't realize he was at this hospital. It seemed Evander knew my dad worked there, which is why they wanted the surgery done here. It was obvious that they wanted to take what was mine. I sent a message to the nurse, telling her to find Dr. Hawthorne and bring him to the kidney transplant operating room. At the hospital, I pushed open the hospital room door. Serafina and Evander didn't expect me to be there. Their eyes widened, staring at me in disbelief. Serafina reacted quickly. She smiled mockingly and said, "Dominic, you ran away, didn't you? Why are you back? Can't let go of this loving husband act? Convinced yourself it was real?" My nails dug into my palm. My knuckles were clenched, trembling. I forced myself to keep it together. "Serafina, you said you had end-stage renal disease? Then why are you dressed so beautifully, taking care of Evander? Why are you looking at him with such affection?" She frowned and glanced at Evander to see if he could hear them. He was still asleep. Relieved, she spun back to me, wanting to stop Evander from hearing anything that might hurt him. She pulled me out of the room. When we were a distance from the hospital, she threw my hand off with disgust. "Evander is your cousin, so what if I tricked you? He will lose his life if you don't donate a kidney." Early melodramatic garbage. How could a female lead say something like that? "Dominic, don't let her brainwash you. Evander would have gotten a kidney anyway. Serafina doesn't want him to. She wants to eliminate you." Dominic is blinded by love, fooled by Serafina's cuteness. He literally just said that he'd give her his life. The comments kept flashing. The more I read, the colder I became. My gaze towards Serafina was icy. Serafina thought that I was thinking she was reasonable. She was angry and yelled, "Go to the doctor and give your kidney to Evander. You just saw that he is dying." She pushed me. Seeing that I didn't move, she became very angry and pouted, "Dominic, don't be childish. Evander's life is in danger. And I'm pregnant with his child. Evander is so nice to you. Knows that you are infertile, so to make our dream come true." She was sobbing by the end of her sentence. I dug my nails deeper into my palms, barely able to breathe. I scoffed, "Serafina, I didn't expect that you'd be having an affair. If you loved Evander so much, marry him instead. You make me sick. Go donate yourself." Serafina did not expect that. She was surprised. Still, she yelled, "Donate your kidneys now. Get him in the surgery. Bring the people to drag him there." Some men in black came and dragged me. Struggling was futile. Seeing this, she continued to yell at me, "Your wife has the right to donate all your organs, and I can just say that I'm kind." She looked at me triumphantly. I was soaked in sweat. I couldn't believe it. After 7 years of being together, I was betrayed. I watched her hand the doctor the form and sign it. The heart was dead. The female lead has gone too far, and the female lead is no more. Male lead has gone insane. The comment was wrong. I called him in for something different. I was dragged into the room. The steel made me feel horrified. I screamed, "If you sell my organs and my dad finds out, he'll fire you." I thought I was going to get a reaction, but the nurse burst out laughing. "You think the hospital is the same. It's for Evander. You are a fool." She mocked me, didn't give me a chance to say anything, and just injected the anesthetic. All the doctors listened to the two because they stole my identity. I was getting more hazy, tried to keep myself awake, but to no avail. When I was sure that I was going to die here, the door opened. My dad came in. He looked very serious, looking at the nurse. The nurse started stuttering and said, "Doctor, your son set it up. His wife signed it too." My dad rushed to me, scanned me, and saw I was still alive. He turned around and yelled at the nurse, "My son is here, my one and only, not any other thing." The male lead's dad is a good one, but he got framed for selling organs because he wanted to get revenge for the son. I heard and felt a sharp pain in my heart. Serafina and Evander are bad people. I blacked out. When I woke up, Serafina was worried. She was kind and asked, "Are you okay? Your dad said that I forced you to donate. Tell him. It was because I'm pregnant. You love me and want to give the kidney to Evander, right?" There was a hidden threat in the sentence. If it were not for the screen, I would have got swindled again and let their love thrive because of me. My nails scratched the palm, scoffing and emotionless, saying, "I don't have low sperm count. I have no sperm. Did you make a mistake? You made a mistake with kidney disease, and you have type O blood, which is perfect for the cousin." My dad immediately understood. Actually, he was very happy because Serafina was pregnant, but had to support because his son liked her. He ordered to take Serafina into the surgery. Serafina heard, with a very darkened face, staring at me, yelling, "Dominic, you lied to me. All the 7 years you have been lying. I shouldn't have liked you. I just did because you were lonely. You are just an emotionless and antisocial person." The female lead is heartless. It was because she had no money, saw Dominic, used her powers and found out he was a good person, and now it's his fault. Dominic is unlucky. I frowned because of these weird comments, and it was kind of true. The first time meeting Serafina, she wore my ideal outfit, a ponytail and jasmine perfume. That single meeting was enough to capture my heart. After that, there were more and more coincidences, more and more shared interests. She was like an object custom-made for me, every part of her exactly what I liked. It turned out that all these were not coincidences. Her status as a transmigrator gave her cheat codes, which is why she knew me so well. Approaching me was just a way to get closer to the water tower to get the moon first, to better approach Evander Sterling. I don't understand. Just like the comments said, whether it's family background, appearance, or origin, I'm far superior to Evander, just because he's the male lead in the book. Serafina is willing to sacrifice my family to create Evander and to complete the love story she expects between the male and female leads. What a selfish and malicious woman. Fortunately, I discovered her true face long ago and won't be a stepping stone for her anymore. I didn't answer her. As I turned to leave, Evander stopped me. "Dominic, thank you for still having the surgery for me. No matter what happens, we're still good brothers." I looked at him deeply. Evander and I grew up together since we were little. Although he's my cousin, my parents didn't treat him any differently from me. But my family is just a stepping stone for him to become the great male lead of this world. He and Serafina really are a pair. After returning home, I thought that everything had nothing to do with me anymore. What's wrong with Evander? He actually brought Serafina to live in an old and small place. Serafina is a rich lady. How can she get used to living there? After this comment popped up, I suddenly inexplicably could see the scene. Serafina looked at the small one-bedroom apartment with disgust and kicked over the trash can next to her. Impatiently, she said, "Evander, did Dominic Hawthorne see me with you and deliberately drive you out of the Hawthorne family? No matter what, you're also his cousin. How can he do this? You just had surgery, and I lost our child because of him. We can't just let their family off like this." She looked at Evander with resentment, as if it wasn't her, Serafina, who had cheated, but me, Dominic Hawthorne. Serafina is a great female lead, directly exposing the male sidekick's father in the media for trading organs, and then catching them all in one go. Everything in Dominic Hawthorne's family must belong to the male and female leads. Can't they rely on their own ability to earn money? No matter what, they also have the halo of male and female leads. Why must they grab the Hawthorne family and fleece it dry? I silently gave a like to this comment in my heart. There's no such thing as a free lunch in this world, and what's free is the most expensive. My father has always been a very kind person, not to mention illegally trading organs. Even if poor people come to our hospital for treatment, my father will pay for their medical expenses out of his own pocket. He even goes to the township every month to give free checkups to the elderly and children. But Serafina poured dirty water on my father for her own selfish desires. My hand clenched into a fist, and the anger in my eyes continued to burn. I had my father send me the surveillance video of the day Serafina forcibly pulled me to donate a kidney. Looking at the video on my phone, my face was full of hatred, while Serafina's face was full of smugness. She seemed to think that after that day, I would disappear from this world completely, and she could finally be with the male lead in the book and become the richest person in the world. Keep dreaming, Serafina. Before long, your dream will be shattered. Sure enough, after a few days, Serafina finally couldn't help but post a report video on social platforms. She put on delicate makeup, but didn't even show her ID card while saying she was reporting by her real name. With a righteous and stern attitude, she said, "I am reporting by my real name that the director of the Hawthorne Hospital illegally trades organs, forcibly knocked me unconscious and donated my kidney. Netizens, just because I'm O blood type, they knocked me unconscious and sent me directly to the operating table, and at that time I was pregnant with a child. Because of this my child is gone." As she spoke, she began to cover her face and cry, and continued to sob. "My ex-husband is Dominic Hawthorne, the son of the director of Hawthorne Hospital. I want to report their hospital. He holds a grudge in his heart, so he drove me out of the house. I just finished surgery. My body hasn't recovered, and he filed for divorce with me. This is wanting to force me to death." She spoke passionately, which did attract a lot of attention and controversy. Before long, this video topped the hot search list. She also successfully gained millions of fans and became a small internet celebrity. From that day on, she seized this wave of traffic and told in the video how difficult it was to be with me, even saying that my family abused her, making me a street rat that everyone shouted to beat. After seeing this video, patients in our hospital demanded refunds and transfers to other hospitals for treatment. Even the door was filled with people who thought they were righteous, holding banners, and anyone who came out of the hospital would be treated inhumanely by them, either throwing rotten eggs or rotten vegetables, and even more outrageous people spitting at others. I watched Serafina make money from people's generosity and give gifts while selling goods in the live broadcast room with a smug look, and smiled coldly. The time has come. I posted the surveillance video of her forcing me to donate a kidney to Evander in the hospital on the internet. Because I was wearing the tag of the director's son of Hawthorne Hospital and the label of Serafina's ex-husband's response, this video became popular soon after it was posted. After seeing it, netizens realized that they had been used. The direction of the internet instantly started to lean to one side, and they all ran to Serafina's live broadcast room to scold her. This bitch cheated on her husband and wants her husband to donate a kidney to her lover. Really shameless. What a pair of adulterers. It turns out that one or two of them are sucking blood on the Hawthorns. Now that the affair has been discovered, they were kicked out by the main family, and they started to spread rumors and slander. And they treat us netizens as fools. She must taste our netizens' keyboards. Moreover, I know this ex-husband. I am their college classmate. His family is very rich. The woman's family is very poor. She chased after the man's family with a thick face for money. I didn't expect that after catching up, she didn't cherish it and even seduced the man's brother. I watched Serafina go from being happy and greedy with the gifts at the beginning to seeing the bad reviews later, her face getting darker and darker, and she was even scolded to the point of turning off the live broadcast room directly. What's wrong with this male sidekick? He's also collapsing. Isn't he a deep affection male sidekick? How can he directly destroy Serafina? Serafina is crying so sadly. Where is Evander? He's not even at home to comfort Serafina baby. Too much. Thanks to Serafina for donating a kidney to save him. I looked at these comments and snorted coldly. Poor couples are sad in everything. Before they had beautiful love, wasn't it all because of our Hawthorne family's wealth that they could be so happy? Now that I'm not dead and survived by the comments, of course their love is not so pure anymore. I also posted the results of the police coming to our hospital for inspection on the internet, and even sent a lawyer's letter to Serafina. As soon as she received the lawyer's letter, she immediately called to question me. "Dominic Hawthorne, what are you doing? I am Serafina. How can you treat me like this? You should always love me. Be my lapdog. How can you hurt me?" I was speechless for a while. Isn't Serafina a transmigrator? With this intelligence, without this cheat code, she probably wouldn't even have the chance to carry my shoes. I did not hide my sarcasm and said, "Serafina, what makes you think that I will always love you? And you are not willing to sacrifice me and my family's lives for Evander, but now you want me to be your lapdog. I'm not that cheap." Serafina shouted at the top of her voice on the other end of the phone. If it wasn't for me, you would just be a passerby in this domineering CO novel. It was because of me that you became a deep affection male psychic and had more scenes. Dominic Hawthorne, do you think you are great? You are just a small character in the book I wrote. You should have served the protagonist team. That's the meaning of your existence. My eyes suddenly turned cold, and without waiting for her to finish speaking, I hung up the phone directly. It turns out that our world is just a world in a book, and it was Serafina who created this book, who wrote me as a love-brain male sidekick, a beast who could harm his parents for the sake of the female lead. I rely on it. It's too exciting. The female lead actually exposed her identity. Wasn't she sent to this book she wrote to complete the task? Is she not afraid of being backfired now that she exposed her identity? She won't be backfired. Serafina's mission was to capture the male lead Evander Sterling, and now it's almost successful. But if she fails, Serafina won't be able to return to the real world. She will live in the book she wrote for the rest of her life. How can she possibly fail? This is the book she wrote herself, the characters she created herself. She knows best what kind of girls they like, just like chasing Dominic Hawthorne. Didn't he get hooked in less than a month and wholeheartedly for 7 years? It turned out that Serafina was a transmigrator with a mission. As long as Evander disappeared, then her mission would not be completed. Serafina's threat didn't have any effect on me. She might have been the author who created this world in the original world, but now, she is just a naive and sweet female lead who fantasizes about a domineering CEO male lead coming to rescue her from everything. Because she had created too much momentum before and even spent a lot of money to buy hotness and traffic for her own videos, which caused my video of smacking her in the face to not cost a penny, but just took advantage of her current trend and remained high on the charts for a long time. She became a street rat that everyone shouted to beat, and someone found her based on the address she posted on her live broadcast to sell misery. They knocked on her door every night and even splashed dog blood on her door, which caused her neighbors to have a lot of opinions and report to the police many times. But it all ended without results because there were no surveillance cameras. Serafina was forced to move away from the old and small place, and she relied on the last bit of money to stay in a small hotel. And Evander seemed to have suddenly evaporated from the world, and even the comments didn't know where he went. According to the comments, he should be like me before, unable to leave Serafina for a moment. So how could he leave her alone to face the online bad reviews and the torture of passers-by? Is Serafina going to start going crazy? Where is she going with a knife? She's not going to knife the male sidekick. It must be. It's almost the end of the story now. The male lead is gone. The male sidekick is not dead. The female lead's reputation is damaged. The main line is all messed up. It would be strange if she didn't go crazy. I looked at these comments, took out my phone and called the police. What's going on? Does this male sidekick have the eyes of the sky? How did he know that Serafina came to find him? And he called the police in advance. Awesome. I didn't answer this comment because I didn't know what would happen next, and if others knew that I could see the comments, would they pull me to do a checkup? I decided to pretend to go out to find Evander. As soon as I opened the door, Serafina was indeed standing at the door with a knife, looking fierce. I pushed her away, but I don't know where she suddenly got the brute force, and she grabbed my hand tightly. She kept shouting, "Dominic Hawthorne, why aren't you dead yet? It's all because you didn't die that the plot main line collapsed, and Evander is also nowhere to be found." I kicked her away. She fell on the ground and made a sinister laugh. Then she stopped laughing, spat fiercely, and said, "Dominic Hawthorne, did you find out something? Why did the lapdog system that I exchanged from the system fail? Was obviously without any accidents for 7 years. Why did an accident suddenly happen when you were supposed to die? Is it you? You did something to change the plot." She climbed up from the ground with a grim face, and before I could react, she suddenly rushed towards me with a knife. I waited for a long time, but the pain that was supposed to come didn't appear. I opened my eyes and saw the man standing in front of me, looking surprised. "Why is it you?" After Serafina looked up and saw the true face of the person she stabbed, she completely went crazy. She looked at Evander with a blank face and questioned, "Evander Sterling, what are you doing? Dominic Hawthorne should have died, his identity, status, and family background should all be yours. I stood on the side and didn't go forward to help Evander, although I knew he was injured to save me, but he could allow Serafina to force me to donate a kidney to save him before, and even colluded with the doctor to harm me. I don't believe he's innocent. Evander pushed Serafina away with a face full of disgust and roared, "Bitch, do you think I don't know? You just came to participate in this game to complete your mission, to make your book a hit, to capture me." He frowned, and more blood flowed from his stomach. Evander took a breath before continuing to say, "But you actually used the lapdog system to coax my brother to donate a kidney to me in order to complete your capture mission. Faster, but you also signed a full-body organ donation agreement with him, and you also pushed the crime of buying and selling organs to my uncle to take the blame for you." The more he spoke, the more excited he became. The wound on his body was pulled, and he couldn't help coughing a few times before continuing to say, "When I knew all this, I committed suicide. Do you think a transmigrator like you can beat a reborn like me? I know all your capture missions. I won't let you succeed. Your male lead was killed by you, and you will be wiped out." I didn't expect that Evander was actually reborn, so it was because he committed suicide that the world had garbled characters, and I was able to see the comments and avoid a disaster. It turned out that Evander had saved me unconsciously. Tears unknowingly filled my eyes. I rushed over and hugged my cousin in my arms, using a cloth to stop the bleeding for him. After hearing this, Serafina grabbed her hair tightly with both hands, staring at Evander with wide eyes, and kept wailing, "No, it's not true. You are the male lead I created. You were all created by me. This world was created by me. Without me, there would be no you. You shouldn't be such a character. This world is messed up. The main plot is all messed up. System. I want to go out. I want to go back." But no matter how she wailed and how crazy she became, the system she mentioned didn't pay attention to her or take her back. The police came, and the cold touch of the handcuffs made her sober. Her face was full of resentment, and she scolded the police. "What are you, extras? Do you have a role here? Get out. I want to kill the male sidekick, so that the plot can return to the main line. The male lead must fall in love with the female lead. Must." In the ambulance, I held Evander's hand tightly. "Cousin, why didn't you continue to hide? You don't have to die. As long as you don't fall in love with Serafina, she won't be able to go back and can only be trapped in this world." He had the same gentle smile as when he was a child, and said with a look of doting, "Of course I know. Do you think I'm really that stupid and still want to die again? I'm studying medicine. Stabbing this place won't kill me. If I don't let her commit a crime, how can I lock her up? I don't want to see this crazy woman wandering in front of us anymore." Evander was right. The place that Serafina stabbed wasn't a fatal wound, so he was discharged from the hospital not long after. I asked all the doubts that had been pressing in my heart. "Brother, is Serafina really the author of our book? Then she's trapped in the world of this book. Will our future end here?" He sneered and said, "She's not the author of this book. She's just a plagiarist. You and I were copied from other books she wrote, so our character, settings, and roles are so divided. And this world wasn't created by her, but it originally existed. All the characters in the novel live in this world." Seeing that I still didn't understand, he didn't explain too much, but smiled and patted my shoulder. "Let's go. Didn't Uncle say that he made braised pork ribs at home? That's right. Even if this world collapses, there are tall people to support it. It's better to be a full ghost. Go home and eat braised pork ribs."